We have breaking news out of King's Dominion, and that is we have the leaked blueprints of their new for 2025 B&M launched wing coaster. And you're about to find out everything we know about this project as of right now, including how does this affect Intimidator 305 and Flight of Fear? Will they get rethemed for 2025? And how this coaster will impact King's Dominion's future going forward? And finally, will this coaster actually get built? My name is Brandon, and welcome to Theme Park Predictions. I'm really glad you're here, and what a Christmas Eve this is, because fans of King's Dominion, if this is your home park, you're planning on visiting, you're about to get the third best coaster in the park come 2025. Maybe the second best, depends on who you ask, but this ride looks legit, and it's a much larger version of the B&M coaster that was originally leaked back in 2019 from KD fans as the park's Volcano replacement. And as you see by this layout here, while it didn't look that great, the ride did pack quite a punch with the elements and the rollover drops, so I did like that. However, it appears that King's Dominion has really amped up this project to make it not even larger, but better themed, as well as really tie in this whole entire Jungle Expeditions themed area, which also happens to be the best, if not one of the best themed areas at any Cedar Fair park. And now you're going to have this really beautiful, massive B&M launched wing coaster. And if you've never been on a Thunderbird at Holiday World, by far it is the best B&M wing coaster there is. Gatekeeper's a lot of fun, but for me personally, I've been on all four here in America, and Thunderbird by far is the best. You get the launch, the airtime, the cool transitions, and it appears that Project 2025 for King's Dominion's 50th anniversary is going to include the launch, as well as a themed tunnel and a pre-show area, and what might be a inverted top hat or a top hat, or even like an overbank turn as the first element. We're really quite unsure exactly how this element will pan out, but from what we know, this will be the tallest point of the coaster. Then immediately following that potential inversion, you're going to experience a massive dive loop. And this looks really huge, and then leads into a corkscrew, and then a really cool looking transition that's going to basically go right on top of the midway of the Jungle Expedition area. And then you're going to go into yet another corkscrew, followed by an airtime hill. And I'm really hoping that there's enough speed and momentum for this part of the ride to get you a nice little floater airtime. Probably not ejector, but one can wish, right? So you have this airtime hill, and then the train's going to travel through an inline twist right above the ground that leads into a 180-degree turn into the brake run. So a few things to note. This coaster does not have a mid-course. It's going to run 2 trains with 5 rows per train for 20 riders per train. So capacity isn't that bad on this, because remember, there's no lift hill and no mid-course. So once the train launches, it's only a matter of 30 to 40 seconds before it's in the back brakes, which is good for capacity reasons. Now, this ride is taking up all of the volcano plot of land, as well as the midway area in front of Volcano, to really make this area really feel more immersed, and just you're walking into the center of the action. And I absolutely love that, because this ride gets so close to Tambili as well as the Park Scrambler ride, and I really like this fitting. But the big question again is, how will this impact Intimidator as well as Flight of Fear? Will King's Dominion actually go above and beyond and retheme both of those? Because after all, Intimidator is in dire need of a paint job. So hopefully, fingers are crossed that they will repaint I-305 this off season, or even next year before 2025, and retheme it to fit into this Jungle Expedition area. To me, honestly, that is the best case scenario for King's Dominion and I-305, as well as Flight of Fear. The park could always give this ride a creative theme to fit into the area somehow, but I really feel like both of those rides will hopefully get rethemed, and this new B&M wing coaster will be, I think, the third best coaster in the park. And honestly, this B&M wing coaster will be the most popular ride at King's Dominion among the GP. I just feel like this ride is just going to be very, very, very popular. It's almost like a dive coaster. People, the regular GP love them. Us as enthusiasts, like, they're fun, but we don't love them. Now, this shirt I'm wearing right now is one of my favorites that I created, and it's funny as well as clever. And if you want to go purchase it, you can check out keepridingcoasters.com. The shirt's $25, and you can find it in men's, women's, and kids in different colors and different style of shirts. Now, how will this actually impact Kings Dominion's future? That is a big question, as we know, thanks to parkfans.net as well as BGW fans, that Busch Gardens Williamsburg is now building a brand new B&M inverted family coaster for 2025 that features 2 lift hills and is probably going to be themed around the Big Bad Wolf. So here's my video on this for that one. Go check it out. Virginia is going to be the place to be in 2025. I'm telling you that much. I'm loving what I'm seeing. But who would have ever thought that Kings Dominion would be building the bigger coaster in Virginia in 2025? Because I remember for the last 4 or 5 years, everyone's complaining about Kings Dominion building the smaller rides. How are they going to compete with Busch Gardens Williamsburg, with the new Dragonspire potential coaster, or even Pantheon? But here we are, 2025, and for pound to pound roller coaster, if you had to pick one to ride, which one are you going to ride? The family inverted coaster at BGW, or the awesome, insane looking B&M wing coaster that's probably going to be around 140 feet tall and feature 4 or 5 inversions, airtime hills, and everything else? I'm going to go to Kings Dominion. That's just me. So I really think that this ride here is the perfect replacement for Volcano. As much as I love that ride, rest in peace Volcano. I'm taking a moment of silence for one of my favorite rides ever. Thank you for that. Volcano was a special coaster. It was so much fun. I absolutely loved Volcano. My last ride on it I got was a front row ride, and we actually got a rollback. We got out of the Volcano, went up to the inversion, and we stalled halfway up the inversion. Like, we were upside down. Then it fell back in reverse. It was probably the best coaster moment I've ever had. But this coaster right here is going to be huge. I'm huge for Kings Dominion's future, because a wing coaster is a ride that you can market and people are going to travel to go experience this coaster. That the closest one to this is what, Dollywood or even Cedar Point. So I'm really loving that, and I'm really intrigued by this layout as well as how it interacts with the Midway, and I just feel like this will be a huge success. And Kings Dominion's future is going to be very bright from this ride here. I personally would rather have them build a hypercoaster from B&M instead of this, but I feel like this is a really solid addition, and I can see this being very beneficial for the park. And I do not think, and I predict, that Kings Dominion will not have to wait more than 4 or 5 years for their next coaster once this gets built, because I really feel like this is going to be a huge draw for Kings Dominion, and the attendance is going to really benefit from a ride like this. And a huge shout out goes to ML Designs, who created all this on No Limits, as well as parkfans.net and kdfans.net. Be sure to follow them on YouTube and social media. So now the big question, will this coaster actually get built? And judging by the timeline and how much time it takes these major coasters to develop and to get built, I don't see how this does not get built, because these blueprints are so in-depth, as well as the timing of this. If Kings Dominion wants this coaster to be open and ready for 2025, then these blueprints are finalized and it's already into the actual next stage of the process. So I'm all for that, and what you're seeing here is probably a 95% chance that this will be opening at Kings Dominion with pretty much the exact same layout you're seeing here, with only a few minor changes. But anyways, if you're interested in learning about how I rank each coaster at Kings Dominion, then this video right here is the video for you. Now, what are your thoughts on this B&M wing coaster? With all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Happy holidays. Remember to smile today, think positive, and of course, keep riding coasters.